Boys, if you want your favorite unit to get buffed and to use them to their fullest potential, you better be using the best emulator on the market, LD Player. LD Player 9 is now available with the smoothest gameplay, the most stable connection, and a ton of tailor-made features just for Epic 7. So do me a favor, and while you're still waiting for those SES buffs to arrive, please use the links in the description below and in the pinned comment to start using LD Player right now. Help support me and the channel. Thank you to LD for sponsoring us. Thank you guys for always being cool with these. And without further ado, let's get into it. What's going on, y'all, and welcome on in. Today, let's take a look at the patch, the balance patch preview. It just hit today. And of course, this is a 2-week notice, just the preview. The actual balance patch will be implemented live at the end of the month. I think the 27th, something like that. 2 weeks from now, essentially. And so this does mean Hua Young Nurse will be going through, boys. Nothing is getting changed in that regard. Smilegate didn't scale anything back, so it is what it is. I know y'all probably have a ton of thoughts on that, but let's try to focus on the buffs that are happening, as that's all new stuff. I'll probably try to do a selector video at the end of the month, recapping all the stuff, you know, what has changed, what hasn't changed in terms of what you guys should take if you do decide to recall Hua, as it doesn't seem like they've changed anything on that front. But overall, I'm super excited. Remember, this balance patch is hitting again earlier than normal because they're trying to align the schedule just a little bit better for real-time arena seasons. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited to go through all this stuff, especially for this lovely lady at the table. I can't wait to talk to y'all about all the exciting stuff that's happening in this balance patch. And yeah, let's get to it. Alrighty, y'all, let's go ahead and pull up the patch notes that I have ready right here. Thursday, 10/27, Thursday balance adjustment preview. Obviously, this is the when it's going to drop, like I mentioned before, because today is, of course, the 14th. So 2 weeks from today about. Hello, heirs of Epic 7. We already know all the stuff they normally say. They're just greeting us. We plan to implement changes to 8 heroes and 2 artifacts this time around, as well as the Hua Young nerfs that were announced on September 30th. So it sounds like I said at the start, guys, everything is still going through. There will be a recall, and you can get a selector. Keep that in mind. I'll give more info on this, especially the selector talk, as we get closer to 10/27. But for now, let's focus on all the goodies we're going to be getting, because these are all buffs, boys. No nerfs in this part. We're actually getting 3 Moonlight 5 stars this time around, which is pretty rare. I don't know if they've ever done 3 Moonlight 5 stars at once. I know they've done 2. Guys, let me know in the comments if they've ever done 3 before. I can't recall if they have. I don't think so. But anyways, we have Remnant Violet, Top Model Luluka, Power Captain Flan, which I think are all great choices. Remnant Violet, when we get to his actual changes, I have to talk a little bit about this. If you ever watch any of my tier lists, there's a big difference in the conception, or what, perception, excuse me, of Remnant Violet in terms of like maybe how newer players view him compared to like endgame players. But yeah, I'll go into that a little bit more. Top Model Luluka, I think most people agree, definitely needed some buffs. This one though, you guys will need to let me know. I don't play her, and I'm suspect they may not be enough, but they look good. I'll go over that. Power Captain Flan though, boys, this is one. Check out my video if you haven't already. I think I said in the video there was one change I wanted for it, at least for that play style, but like always, guys, we'll get to that in a sec. Vildred, Zahak, and Luluca are the 5-star RGBs, red, green, blues, and then Bad Cat Armin for the 4-star Moonlight, which is good, right? She definitely needed something. And then Jenna, which is like, what? Maybe specialty change on the horizon. It does seem like sometimes when they target random 3 stars, you know, we've seen a few happen in the past, Arrowell, that get, you know, specialty changes. So that'd be kind of nice. I bet Jenna would look great. All right, so artifacts is Alabastron and Chatty. Alabastron, the thief artifact, and Chatty is that mage artifact you get from the Halloween event. If you didn't get it previously, you might have to get it from Book of Memories. Okay, let's speed through this, guys, and let's break it down, starting with Remnant Violet. All right, let's take a look at Remnant Violet. Sword Flash, the skill 1. We are getting a Soulburn activated, where previously it used to extend duration of buffs granted by the skill by 1 turn for 10 souls. This was almost never used, guys. It was pretty poor. And this is actually even better because we're going to talk about the passive here in a second. So keep that in mind, guys. Soulburn grants an extra turn. Concentration, the passive. Now it's going to, if you see left to right, after being attacked, the whole focus gain mechanic where he pops off into the skill 3, the Massacre, it's actually getting changed so that it now works if he attacks, not just when he is being attacked. So previously, if he was at 5 focus, he would only proc or, do the Massacre, the skill 3, if he was getting attacked, where now all he has to have is as soon as he gets the 5 focus after he attacks, he'll be able to pop that off. And on top of that, I'm assuming this is going to work as well, right, with the Urvalin artifact, the counter artifact for thieves, which a lot of people were already using on him. So that's a win-win. That's a pretty big change, pretty significant, even though it may not seem like a lot on paper. After that, guys, the Massacre is getting a 3-turn attack up, so they're pretty much just giving the Soulburn for free, right? He gets attack up for 3 turns, and they're reducing the cooldown by 1 turn. So overall, I really like these changes because here's the thing. Remember I said at the start, guys, I think Remnant Violet, a lot of new players think he's terrible, and I can definitely see why. But a lot of endgame players use him very well and actually think he's in a good spot. He's in a strong spot. The thing is, you can't use Remnant Violet like an Apocalypse Robbie. You can't first pick him because he has so many counters. There's a lot of things, you know, debuffs, units that can just get through his evasion, whatever it might be. He has a lot of counters that can destroy him, as well as sometimes even when the game is going perfectly, you're playing well, you drafted him well, sometimes you just lose that 70-30 split. I say 70-30 because he has 50% evasion, and you usually have a thief artifact that gives 20% additional evasion, right? If it's, you know, it could be even higher with like Violet Talisman, but let's just say 70-30. If you hit that 30%, you get unlucky 1/3 of the time. He might just straight up die, when usually if you play the odds, he should do well, right? So it's an RNG on top of the fact that you can't draft him well, and also he requires some pretty significant gear, either speed or lifesteal, usually either really fast glass cannon or with some bulk and lifesteal as like a, you know, more of a sort of bruiser type. But overall, I think this is good, guys, because I know some people wanted buffs to survivability. All I can say is I totally get why. I think for newer players or people without the best gear, he can be kind of tough to use. He may just die out of nowhere, but if you buff him too much, he would become a mega issue late game for end game players that can really stack a ton of gear, that know how to use him well. And I think I don't even think he needed buffs because he was already in a good spot, but the players that wanted him to get buffed, now he excels at his role even better. He's just not going to be like, you know, no extra survivability or anything crazy like that. So overall, I really like this. Let me know what y'all think. This is probably the most polarizing one that a lot of us may, you know, disagree on. Hopefully respectfully, right, guys? But yeah, let me know what you think about that. I really like it. I'm going to use him more. Most definitely. Now this one, boys, I don't own, so I have to take it from what I've been talking with people about. All the info on Top Model Luluka. I know what she does, of course, but since I've never used her, never played her, not my kind of hero, I need y'all's help to tell me how good this will be. So overall, victory pose increases combat readiness. She gets a 5% increased combat readiness buff. Okay, nothing, you know, huge to write home about, but a buff is a buff. And then also her demolish, which is the skill 3, I think. Increases attack of all allies except for herself for 2 turns. So probably aimed at using her in like aggro cleave comps, obviously, right? That's the kind of unit she is, and now she'll be able to attack up for the rest of her teammates, as well as providing more combat readiness. Now here's what I think is a big one, guys. Imprint concentration is actually being changed from attack, which attack is always good, especially on a DPS unit, but now she gets up to 16 or 17% pretty much crit chance, which will help a ton with gearing. So that might let you build more speed, that might let you run different artifacts instead of, you know, some people run like Black Hand of the Goddess to make up the crit chance. That might let you run like a pen set where previously you had to use a crit set. Who knows? I think this is great in terms of gearing. It'll allow people with insane gear to make her even more insane. My only issue is, this is where you guys got to help me. Does she have a spot over units like Millum, who is going to get a rerun very soon and has a lot of different stuff going for her as well, right? I think Top Model Luluka in Cleave and Aggro, she's definitely usable, but I think there's other units that can still perform in a similar fashion, not necessarily Millum, but other Cleave units, maybe that have like faster speed. So you guys let me know if this is good. It doesn't seem like a ton, but if you combine the imprint, meaning her gear is going to get a lot different, and then, you know, the attack up for all allies and 5% more CR, who knows? Maybe it's enough. You guys let me know what you think. All right, now this one I can definitely talk about, guys. Pirate Captain Flan, aka Fapton. Let's just call her Pirate Captain Flan. Execution, the skill 1 attacks enemy with a gun with a 75% chance to steal 1 buff, which is, guys, that's very good, right? Previously, all it did was detonate burn and bomb effects. Nothing else beyond that. Now she has a chance to steal a buff. Also, you know, thematically fitting her lore as a pirate. So that's very, very nice. Very cool. Scourge of the Sea, which I think this is the passive, right? Yeah, this is the passive. She straight up gets 50% effectiveness, which is awesome. This is very good. No matter, I think, what kind of pirate Captain Flan you are, you will want effectiveness on her. So this is effective. This is, no pun intended, effectively a ton of free stats. And on top of that, this is the one change I wanted, guys. Once again, check out my video if you have a chance of how I use Flan in a more bruiser role, not a cleave role. This is what I needed, because even though it was fun, there were so many matches that trolled me when she would just hit that 15 to 20% crit chance. and it would not proc a bomb. Essentially, the just to save y'all some time if you don't want to watch the video, we combine Flan with C-Series artifact, Summertime Ice-Series artifact, the bomb. It applies a bomb when you skill 1, but it doesn't work on a crit hit, and since Pirate Captain could crit, you know, sometimes you would miss the bomb and it would be a GG. But the thing is nice is Pirate Captain Flan can no longer crit now, so every time she skill 1s, as long as the bomb's not resisted, she will apply it and immediately detonate it. On top of that, guys, she is getting an execution change where now it can work out of turn, I believe, right? After using execution. So yeah, they took out on the caster's turn. So any dual attacks, if you want to do like counter Flan, I guess. Not the biggest deal, because really it's a 50% CR push that is on a 2-turn cooldown. Not really the biggest, but hey, any extra quality of life is nice. I definitely accept that. This is the biggest one, and 50% and a chance to steal a buff is huge. So overall, really love it. And we're not done yet, guys. We have a little bit more here. The full burst of skill 3 now gives her an extra attack up for 1 turn, right? So 3 turns instead of 2, just like Remnant Violet. I think Remnant Violet was also, yeah, 2 to 3. And on top of that, we get 5% CR, so like TML, right? Hey, guys, I think this is definitely very, very good. It's going to let players use her in more types, not just like the cleave roll. Using C-Series artifact is one way. It might suck for some people out there that were on a crit damage build. I don't think that's a ton of people, as burns and bombs, as we all know, scale off attack. Not really anything to do with crit damage, but I'm sure some people out there built her. But overall, hopefully they're okay with it, because I think this is a net positive. This is very nice. I can't wait, guys. Get ready for the second video of Pirate Captain Flan this season. I plan to use her a ton. All right, that's all the ML5s, guys. Let me know if there's an ML5 that was missing that you wanted to see, but let's move on to the red, green, blues. First up, we got Vildred, who is just straight up across the board getting more damage. This is okay, guys. I know a lot of people probably use him in a ton of areas. PvP, for speed and print, for cleaving, for PvE, because he's great as like an AoE unit, right? An A13. I use him in the Ice Expedition. You can use him in a lot of places. And honestly, as an older unit, his damage didn't really compete, at least the multipliers, with newer units. But my issue is for cleave, guys. This is for endgame RTA, higher level RTA. Cleave is already in a great spot, and I shouldn't say cleave is in a great spot. I should say that damage output right now in high-end PvP is just so high, especially if you're not taking first turn, and I'm a little worried. You know, I don't want to give this unit more damage in PvP, as he's seen a lot there because of his imprint. But hey, if it helps PvP players, if y'all are happy with it, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. I'll use it for PvE, so I'll get some benefit out of it as well. But yeah, it's just nothing to really talk about, just more damage on all his skills. Zahak, this one is huge, guys. This one actually very huge, even though it doesn't look like a lot. Dispels 2 debuffs. So the Elaborate Plan is his skill 2, which previously was like a really weird fit to his kit. So Hawk started off after his release not being that great. He was okay, and then they made it like his EE, take away resources, and he was actually used to fight things like Lionheart, to one-shot units like Sage Sylvian. But now, guys, check this out. The Elaborate Plan, the skill 2, will now just straight up lead into skill 3 because it grants an extra turn. So previously, where you would almost never use it, just in rare scenarios after you already skill 3, now you just straight up always use it. You'll dispel 2 debuffs. So if you have something annoying on you, you get to dispel it from yourself and an ally. And then you increase your combat readiness by 15 and grant an extra turn, and then you lead straight into skill 3. On top of that, guys, don't forget this too. I talked about his exclusive equipment, the one that reduces resources, which is good for killing like Sage Vivian. But now I think one of the plays, and this probably is what most people use, is use the attack up, where Elaborate Plan will now give attack up, I believe, for him and an ally as well. And then you get an attack up, which leads into the skill 3. So no need for an attack up buffer. He gives it to himself and another ally. It's huge. More combat readiness as well. This is actually kind of crazy here. I think Zahak is going to be even better than before. He was already seeing some play here to counter those, you know, single target, or not, those single carry units. But now I think he's going to be in a great spot. I don't know if we want more extra turn in the game. This is just such a powerful skill. Look at Lua, guys. Everything nowadays has extra turns. The only thing that can punish that really is like Moon Bunny. But yeah, this is great for Zahak players. I'm definitely going to have one as a pocket counter pick. All right, moving right along. Excuse me. We got Luluca, who will now just be more consistent. This is pretty much a PvE change. I don't think Luluca is really seen in PvP in too many areas, especially real-time arena. You can use a unit anywhere. I'm sure some of y'all watching have used her in PvP. But yeah, more consistent debuffs. Nothing crazy, but yeah, hey, it's good. I know a lot of y'all are probably wondering where Says is. I'm wondering that as well. All right, so that's for the 5 stars, guys. Next up, we got the Moonlight 4 stars. It's probably one of the weakest 4 stars, I think, that hasn't been buffed yet. So Bad Cat Armin, guys, these are super. I honestly don't know fully what she used to do. I haven't built her yet, but I know she used to provide injury. I think she gave like speed up. She had quite a lot of different things that didn't really maybe mesh with her skills. So I believe Smilegate is trying to make her more synergistic. So she's losing the injury. If I say anything incorrectly here, guys, because I'm trying to speed up a little bit, just let me know. But overall, now she's getting a provoke, which is, this is the counter. I think this is an attack that hits everybody. And now she gets provoked because that's going to combine with her kit, as we'll see here in the passive. But she loses the injury debuff. Catch him now will have a 50% chance to increase up from 40 for the foremost ally. This was kind of like her main gimmick that made her unique. She, you know, with the position, she provides crit damage and counterattacks. And when attacked by the enemy, inflicted with provoke or redirected provoke, that's why they're giving her provoke here. Effect chance is double, so she'll have 100%, a guaranteed way if the enemy is provoked. Kind of cool. I like that idea. And then her skill 3 now, instead of granting, no, still grants a barrier. I thought this thing used to grant speed, didn't it, guys? Oh yeah, here it is on the awakening. Yeah, it used to grant speed. Now it increases defense and provoke instead of speed. It still gives the barrier, so overall I think that's great. Now you're just going to want to try to provoke everybody. You can bring provoke units as well, like Senya, and make some really cool comps, guys. I'll probably try this out as well. Any Bad Cat Armin experts out there, let me know if y'all are sad about her losing some things like injury and the speed up. But I think overall her kit will now be it'll be more synergistic. It'll make more sense. It'll be a lot more even if she's like less utility, she's going to have a lot more consistency, I think, right? 100% chance if they're provoked. But overall, yeah, I plan to use her. I'm not sure. Now, this one, guys, I think is super random. This kind of screams at me that she might be getting a specialty change soon. We're not going to take too long reading this as, you know, I don't know how many people out there are running Jenna, but hopefully she gets an SC. And, yeah, she gets a lot of cool stuff here. Decreasing buff durations at 100% chance is always good. She has that stun chance now. What else, guys? I think she gets a defense break, yeah, and decreased combat readiness. But overall, with her speed, I don't really see, even after these buffs, her getting any play outside of people just testing or if they love her until she gets an SC. So let's make it happen, Smilegate. Next up, guys, we got Alabastron, which is the Thief Artifact. Thief Arties are so stacked for PvP. I don't know if this will compete for any like RTA, real-time arena stuff, but for PvE, I'm sure it'll find a spot somewhere. As now we have a 70% chance at max to apply decreased attack, decreased defense, decreased speed, or unhealable. Okay, I'm not too excited about this one. Let me know if you guys are. And last but not least, this one, boys, Chatty. I like to run this as a person who runs mages more, you know, defensive. I love this arty, and now it's getting even better. So barrier strength increase, which is huge. At the start of the battle, now we get the barrier, which if it's the same strength as, which is getting even stronger than before, if it's the same strength as when it procs previously, that's a lot, guys. Not only are you going to start the battle with that fat barrier, which scales off your attack, and it's getting buffed as well. Now you also get at the start, and it'll proc when you are 50% health or less after getting attacked. Just be careful, guys, of Desert Drool Bazaar. He's all over the place right now for RTA, and if you have a big barrier that you start the match with, he can easily take advantage of that, get an extra turn, and do a ton of damage. So just be careful of DJB, but overall this is huge. This is a great change. All right, guys, let's wrap it up there. Yeah, this video is already pretty long. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please let me know what you think about all of these changes. And yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.